We do have some breaking news out of central Oahu. Police activity has students on high alert in Waipahu. How do you expect Hawaii's own Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to do today, and how much longer do you see her staying in the race? Governor David Ige is asking state lawmakers for $7.2 million to help fight the coronavirus over the next 4 months. I just got off the phone with Coast Guard officials who do tell me the situation is developing. And right behind me, this is the coastline. They have been searching. This is a helicopter, one of the search helicopters that has been participating in the efforts to find that missing Black Hawk helicopter. If you were to tap into these budgets, how would it directly impact Hawaii? And do you think that this move could take away from some of our disaster relief funds?
Well, of course.
For the first time in history, the Dow did close above 29,000 points at 0.31%. 91 people across the state are under self-quarantine, most of them identified through screenings at Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. 6 people have died in Washington state because of COVID-19. Hawaiian Airlines also temporarily suspended direct service between Honolulu and South Korea. That's due to the number of COVID-19 cases jumping from 51 a week ago to nearly 1,000. To help underserved communities with a focus on Native Hawaiians and people living in rural towns. KITV4's Diana Ko looks at what Iola Lahui offers to seniors. We're standing right outside entrance doors to the Honolulu Police Department, and over here, you'll find the Roll of Honor. That's where officers Enriquez and Kalama are being remembered by the community. Biggest day so far in the presidential race. Voting is underway at this hour in more than a dozen states for Super Tuesday. And our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler is live on Capitol Hill. 90 people so far have been arrested, all in opposition, all against the construction of a new wind farm that is being built right here in Kahuku. Now, if you take a look behind me, the Kukiai Kahuku. President Trump is speaking out today for the first time since he was acquitted on the articles of impeachment. The president is both celebrating and offering a warning. Investigation, it continues to ramp up. Police have shut down these roads behind me. They are Ponimoy and Paki because they lead up to Hibiscus Drive, which is in that Diamond Head neighborhood where that gunfire and fire took place yesterday. 2 officers killed in the line of duty were remembered at HPD's headquarters yesterday afternoon. And here's more on the somber start of the Honolulu Police Commission meeting.
Before we start, if I could ask everyone to recognize a moment of silence, please. We're standing right outside entrance doors to the Honolulu Police Department, and over here you'll find the Roll of Honor. That's where officers Enriquez and Kalama are being remembered by the community. The names on the wall represent all officers killed in the line of duty. After the moment of silence, the meeting turned to descriptions of both officers. Kalama served in District 7, that's East Honolulu. He's described by loved ones as outgoing and athletic.
Let us not forget Officer Kalama and the ultimate sacrifice he made on our behalf.
Enriquez served in Waikiki, that's District 6. She was a bodybuilder, mother, grandmother.
She's described by loved ones as nurturing, giving, positive, and always smiling.
What started as a symphony of sympathy for 2 fallen officers turned into aloha for the entire department.
Our deepest condolences go out to the families and all the officers, because I know each and every one of them are, feeling the pain, the personal pain, and the families, because it's a heavy burden to carry.
Honolulu Police Chief Susan Ballard says the support is overwhelming and from seemingly everywhere, including mayor's offices, Queens Medical Center, the Honolulu Fire Department, and financial institutions helping raise money for the families.
Every single branch of every single bank in this state is going to be a collection point for the officers.
Funeral services have not yet been announced. Lindsey Fukano, KITV4 Island News. Brenton, findings in that NTSB report indicate the chopper collided with some very mountainous terrain, and it's in this region of Koke'e State Park. It's about 3,000 feet above sea level, where weather conditions significantly limit visibility.
Trade winds that we do have, weather can roll in.
including rain and fog. And a witness in the report described hearing the chopper in distress and describing visibility at the time of the crash being only about 20 feet. The Kauai Police Department shared new technology they used to identify all 7 people who died on December 26th. It's called the Applied Biosystems Rapid Hit ID system, and it produces lab-quality forensic DNA profiles in about 90 minutes. The lives lost that day include 69-year-old tour helicopter pilot Paul Matero of Wailua and the Winteregg family of Switzerland, including 50-year-old Sylvie, 49-year-old Christophe, 13-year-old Alice. Also on board, a family visiting from Madison, Wisconsin, 47-year-old Amy and 13-year-old Jocelyn. The investigation currently continues on, with the NTSB looking into other possible factors, including mechanical failure or pilot error. Lindsey Fukano, KITV4 Island News.
Today, a top Democrat is set to speak with the head of the country's coronavirus task force, Vice President Mike Pence. This as the country readies itself for what health officials have called the inevitable. And for more, here's ABC's Alex Perche from Washington. Meanwhile, back here at home, Governor David Ige is asking state lawmakers for $7.2 million to help fight the coronavirus over the next 4 months. In this letter to the Department of Health and Department of Defense, he said funding is for surveillance, quarantines, and enhanced communication strategies in case of an outbreak.
So the bottom line message as the City and County of Honolulu is asking the residents of this island, one, to be informed, be prepared but not overreact.
That's Honolulu Mayor Kirk Caldwell urging residents to educate themselves about coronavirus or COVID-19 and not to panic. Hawaiian Airlines also temporarily suspended direct service between Honolulu and South Korea. That's due to the number of COVID-19 cases jumping from 51 a week ago to nearly 1,000. Hawaiian operates 5 weekly nonstop flights between Honolulu and Incheon, and they're all on hold until at least May.
It's been evolving over the last couple of weeks and really evolving with the news flow. I think it is fair to say that we have seen some slowdown in the pace of people booking trips, particularly from Asian origination points. And we've also seen some cancellations.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued a Level 3 advisory, meaning people should avoid non-essential travel to South Korea. And now more colleges and universities across the country are canceling or changing study abroad programs because of the outbreak. At last check, no programs from the University of Hawaii have yet been impacted, but Hawaii Pacific University restricted all non-essential travel to countries with a State Department Level 2 travel warning, and the East-West Center postponed several planned conferences. Still to come on KITV4, more baby boomers are lighting up. We'll tell you why marijuana use has spiked among people 65 and older, and why doctors say this could be a health risk. Those stories coming up on KITV. Stay with us.
This is KITV4 Island News Midday.
Welcome back. If you've ever felt like you've been underpaid, well, a new bill moving through the state capitol could help prevent that. And it's looking to crack down on companies that commit wage theft. Representative Chris Lee says his bill would subject employers who willingly withhold money from their employees' paychecks to criminal charges. Violators could face up to 5 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines.
So in cases around the country, we've seen employers intentionally dock wages from their employees, underpay their employees, pocket the money themselves. And in those cases, they can be charged with a felony, which can be thousands of dollars, years in prison, because that is the same thing as somebody going to a store nearby and robbing them of the same amount of money. So in this case, it protects workers from that kind of exploitation.
Under current law, the penalties for employers convicted of wage fraud ranges from a fine of $50 to up to a year in prison. All right, Tasha, thank you. Marijuana use has spiked among people aged 65 and older, but doctors are warning that this might not be a good thing. Meredith Wood now explains. Well, still to come on KITV4, an owl rescued from the ashes of a California wildfire is flying high once again, and a glass installer becomes a highway hero. Those stories coming up on KITV4. Welcome back now to an update on the woman who failed to bring her missing kids to law enforcement. Lori Vallow's bail remains at $5 million. In court on Kauai, a judge denied her attorney's request to lower it, and she's charged with 2 counts of child abandonment. Her 2 kids, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, haven't been seen since September.
Ignore the publicity, ignore the hype, the sensationalization of this case, and set bail the way this court would any other individual under these circumstances.
Plain meaning of confirm means firmly establishes. So I am firmly establishing and confirming what I previously said at the hearing, last hearing. So bail is confirmed at $5 million.
Vallow agreed to be extradited back to Idaho. She's scheduled to be in court again next Monday. And court documents reveal new details about Sunday night's murder in Mililani. 33-year-old Jamil Hart is accused of killing his 74-year-old mother, Gwendolyn Hara Hart. According to the documents, neighbors heard screaming from a unit at Waipio Gardens Apartments, which is where the bodies of Gwendolyn and a dog were found. Honolulu police report they found a blood trail leading them to her son at a nearby church. His bail is set for $1 million. 100,000 native sea urchins to control invasive algae. And officials there are dropping those urchins into the ocean at an area covering about 76 acres near Diamond Head. And scientists hope that these algae patrollers will eventually help coral to regrow. And we'll check back in now with weather as Tasia Willie's back with a look at today's surf forecast. Speaking of being out in the water, Tasia, how's it all shaping up?
Well, surf on the south side, nice and calm, 1 to 3. And then if you do want...
Welcome back. A new beginning unfolded in the skies above California for an injured owl that spent months in rehab.
Jeremy Roth has the story in today's Take a Look at This.